Hey guys, Kurt here, and today part 3 of my 4-part video series about the law of attraction. Let's get right into it. So I made a little modification to my triangle. This is what we're going to talk about today. I was calling it knowing, but really I think calling it energy work is more accurate to describe the concept that I kind of had in mind that I wanted to convey. And basically, energy work is the easy part, right? So to speak. Energy work is what people think of when they see the law of attraction. So when you see, like a video or something on YouTube or somebody describing how to get the law of attraction to work for you on the internet, this piece is that. And what do people usually think of when they think of the law of attraction? Vision boards, mental exercises. There's the 55 by 5 exercise, which I recommend. It is very good. And if you're not sure what that is, just go look it up. There's a ton of information out there about it that's going to be very accurate. I don't need to bore you with that in this video when there's plenty of information about it out there. But it's called 55 by 5. And basically, these are exercises. This is what people call scripting. And this is the easy part. The other two parts, this being the most important one, and this is the second most important, we're going to talk about that next week in video 4. These two parts are, I guess you could say, they are very much related, but they are the engine that makes this work. This is what everybody else is always telling you to do, and that's all you need to do is do some scripting, do some vision boards, and you just got to believe it. And you're going, well, I can't fool myself. How do I make myself believe it? And that's why I spoke to this talking point at length last week. That video was, like 45 minutes long. This is the most important piece of this whole thing. The law of attraction isn't going to work unless you get this down. This is easy. This is easy. Doing scripting, basically. And while you're sitting there doing scripting, switching between these 3 components, as I described in one of my earlier videos. And I'm going to repeat that part of it in the next video too, and kind of tie everything together in the next part of the video. Like I said, this is a 3-legged table. I explained that in the last video where I talked about this. This is a 3-legged table, so it's not really going to stand on its own unless you have all 3 legs in place, right? So just stay tuned for those other videos. Well, anyway, this is so easy, guys. You're sitting there, you're doing your 55 by 5 exercise with your notebook or whatever, and you're creating the energy of having whatever object it is or person or money or whatever it is that you're trying to manifest as you're sitting there doing those scripting exercises. And I just want to point this out about these scripting exercises. There's people that seem to teach that, like, for example, if you're doing the 55 by 5 exercise, if you miss a day, it's not going to work because there's some divine law out there in the universe that says, oh, you didn't do it right. Nope, you're not going to get what you want now. Like there's some, it's like it's I don't know, just kind of the way that humans do things here on Earth. Like, say you're applying for a permit to start a business or something, right? And if any of you know how the government works, it's a lot of red tape and jumping through some hoops, and you got to file certain paperwork by a certain date, and then you've got like 60 days to take these other actions, and you got to do that on time and fill out this other paperwork, and it's all got to be done in this certain order. You know what I mean? Just that kind of like jumping through all the hoops kind of mentality of how the government operates, right? And that's what some of these other law of attraction teachers seem to be implying is, like, if you're doing the 55 by 5 exercise and you miss a day, or something like that. Like, oh, you missed that deadline. You didn't meet that government red tape requirement. It's not going to work. The universe is going to say no. Like the government denying your application because you didn't file some form on time or something. It doesn't work like that. That's stupid. It just doesn't. Okay? It's your energy. Your intention is what matters. And that's what this is all about. This is all about creating your energy. There's no divine clerk out there in heaven rubber stamping your law of attraction application. That's stupid. It's just energy, guys. If you are doing the 55 by 5 technique and you miss a date, oh well, it's probably going to work better if you are more consistent, but so what? So what if you miss a day? And I personally, when I'm trying to manifest something, I will do, and this is just my way of doing it, but I'll do a 55 by 5 exercise 4 times in a row. So that's going to be 20 days of doing these exercises and staying focused on this thing. And the reason I do it that way for so long is because the more that you are focused on this goal and trying to create this energy, and the longer that you're doing that, the more energy you're going to send out there into the universe, and you're going to attract these things to you even better. And also, like throughout the day, I'll be thinking about it, right? But I'll also be keeping my energy in check with these two things. And this basically, we'll talk more about this next week, but this component, which is going to be the 4th video, is basically believing that you believe that this works, like recognizing, and it's easy to do that. You just have to recognize that it does work, right? But all throughout the day, every day, I'll be telling myself that I don't have any reason to believe that these things aren't going to happen. Like, I know this works. And I know, like, say I'm trying to manifest money, I know that there's a lot of people that make a lot of money out there in the world. There isn't any reason I can't. And really just spending the 20 or so days that I'm doing this scripting exercise, tearing down all the limiting beliefs all the time, all day throughout the day, and reassuring myself there isn't any reason that this isn't going to work. And then every day in the morning, I'll do my 55 by 5 exercise. Okay, so I'll write out my scripting exercise 55 times, and then the next day I'll do it again 55 times, and then the next day I'll do it again 55 times until I've done that 5 times. Just go look up 55 by 5. And then I'll modify like another belief I have about the whole thing. Like, say I'm trying to manifest money, and I'll write, the world is awash in money and money is coming my way. And I'll do that 55 times, 5 days in a row. And then the next set of 5 55 sentence long scripting exercises that I'm going to do, I'll change what I say to something else, like, I have money and money is easy to make. And I'll write that 55 times, 5 days in a row. And then I'll pick another phrase and I'll do that 55 times, 5 days in a row. And I'll do that in total 4 times. That's just the way I do it. And I recommend doing it that way, this kind of scripting exercise. Do it for a few weeks. Go ahead and do it for a few weeks, because you're going to create more of a permanent presence of this energy. This isn't going to be just a quick wham bam thank you ma'am kind of thing. You're trying to create like a permanent presence of this energy, and it's only going to help if you do it a lot for an extended period of time. So that's what I recommend doing. Do the scripting exercise, writing it down, or do a vision board, if you like that better. But do it daily and do it for, a few weeks. And the whole time, just stay on this one goal. Don't try to manifest 2 or 3 things all at once. Just keep it simple. Just pick one. Just pick one thing, and then give it a rest for a couple of weeks, and then move on to the next thing that you want to manifest if you want to do that. And that's it. Just throughout the day during this 3-week period, always telling yourself, I believe it, I know this is working, tearing down any limiting beliefs, just being very focused. And then, very important, and I spoke to this a lot in the last video, you do all these exercises and you shift between these three things. And one of the things that comes along with this is letting go of the outcome. So you kind of get yourself built up, right? You're doing these scripting exercises during this 20-day period. And then intermittently throughout the day, along with the tearing down the negative beliefs and the positive reinforcement and this type of thing, you also remind yourself that I don't care if it happens or not. I don't have any preference. I don't need it to, because I'm happy with what I have. And then later you go, I know I have it though. I know I have this money or whatever it is. You know, and then later you tell yourself again, I don't need any particular outcome. I don't need things to be any different than they are. And you're focused on the present moment and enjoying your life, right? The whole being aspect. Go watch that last video if you missed that part, because that's very important. If you want to get this to work for you, all these scripting exercises, they don't mean anything unless you really and truly embody the energy of having that thing now. That's why kind of refocusing your energy back to the now is how you pull that energy in. Am I making sense here? That's why you would do a thing like let go of the outcome. Like, I'm not going to be disappointed if the money doesn't show up. And you shift between saying that and saying, I do believe it's going to work and I do have money and I don't care about the outcome. I'm just going to live in the moment and have fun now. And focusing on being, which is at the top of the triangle. And then faith, which is, I know this works. And then the scripting, which is, I know I have the money. And then I don't care if it happens. I don't care about the outcome. I'm good. And then being present, placing yourself in that state of being. And you do these things repeatedly during the 20-day period, over and over and over and over and over and over again, switching between all three of these things, like I said in the last video, like the rotary engine, right? And you do them so much for a 20-day period that you kind of blend it into one energy. And it's this energy of having it right now, because your energy is focused on the now, and you believe that you have this thing that you are trying to manifest. And that's why you would let go of the outcome, because the outcome is assured. I don't care about getting to some place where things are different, because I do have the money now. And it's energy, guys. It's energy. You just got to blend all three of these things, and you got to do it so much. And the scripting is important because it kind of keeps you focused and keeps you in this zone of creation, of creating the thing that you're trying to manifest. It's like you override the understanding that you don't have the money right now. You're creating an energy by staying in the moment. That's why the being aspect that we talked about in the last video is the most important thing, because you're always, when you're focused on being and the true spiritual journey, you're always pulling your energy into the present moment. And if I'm believing that I'm having something over here, this money or whatever it is, and I'm focused on the present moment, what you're trying to do is pull those two energies together into one. And so, like I said, you're taking these three things and blending them into one thing by doing this repetitively so much for that 20-day period that you kind of like whir it all together into one big energy. Even though one of those components might seem like a contradiction, which is what today's video kind of is about, is, you know, you certainly are clear that you don't have $1 million in your pocket. But you do these scripting exercises telling yourself, I do have the money, and anyway, time is an illusion, and I know that all I'm having to do here is get to that place in the universe where there is the me that has the money. And then letting go of the outcome. And you see how I keep repeating the same steps over and over again, and then believing that this does work, and then doing the scripting again. And you just keep doing that for 20 days, a month, and you blend the energy together, and that's when the thing shows up in your reality. So there you go, guys. I basically just kind of repeated myself a lot throughout this video. I do that on purpose because I think it helps. Like I said, this is a three-legged table, right? And so I talk about each component of the three legs. And when I do it again and again and again, it turns it into one thing, which is what this exercise is all about. And I kind of want you to look at it that way. Like, I'm not talking about three separate things. I'm talking about one thing. And you just do them repeatedly so much that you kind of make one energy out of it. And it's the energy of having whatever it is that you are wanting to have. And that's when it shows up in your reality. So repetitiveness is definitely the name of the game when it comes to working within the parameters of the law of attraction consciously, instead of just being kind of subject to whatever whims the universe brings you. So there you go, guys. Thank you very much for watching. One more video to go next week. I'll see you then. Bye.